for 3 or 4 years old, and then I wasn't born in this hospital. I was born in a house in North Carolina. However, my brother and my 3 sisters was born in New York. I was born, my mother chose to be for me. I was born in North Carolina. Now, this is Gramercy neighborhood on our left. That's Gramercy. Now, that's where Chelsea Clinton met her husband Mark while living in Gramercy. And by the way, Teddy Roosevelt, born in 1858 on East 20th Street. He was the first American to win the Nobel Peace Prize, and he was the 26th president and the youngest. By the way, John F. Kennedy was the youngest elected. Teddy became president because of the assassination of Will McKinley, September 6, 1901, Buffalo, New York. The neighborhood on our right. So you notice all the buildings. That is called Stuyvesant Town, coupled with Peter Cooper Village. The first building was in 1947. The purpose of those buildings was for American soldiers that fought in World War II. Now, not all World War II soldiers were invited to live there back in the 1940s because of their nationality, racial, or ethnic group. Diversity came in the 1960s. This is the largest complex of building on the island. Now, how many buildings are over there? It's the largest. Here's your hint. 25,000 people live in these buildings. How many buildings? I need a number.
100.
100. Well, you know what? Since he said 100, let's give it to him. 110 buildings over here on our right. 110 buildings. And by the age of 25, you would know which building you live in, because all of the buildings are practically identical. Once when we cross wide streets, we are in a different neighborhood. Once we cross wide streets, it denotes another neighborhood. So that's the demarcation of another neighborhood. The neighborhood we are entering to is called Kips Bay, K-I-P Bay. So we are in Kips Bay as we cross 23rd Street. We're going to show you, first of all, how many medical personnel on this bus. How many medical personnel? Who work in the hospital? What do you do? Nurse? Well, we're going to show you the very first hospital in the United States, 1736. The very first maternity ward in the United States. The very first ambulance service in the United States. And it's the world's first hypodermic needle. Furthermore, if the tour guide shall tell you, please do not put your arms on the outside of the arena of this bus. And you decided to do what? You decided to put your arms on the outside of the arena of this bus, and suddenly a truck, or you're from England, they're called lorries, that come very close to this bus, and detach your arm away from your body. This is one of the first hospitals that can reattach your limbs if they can find them. Furthermore, if you are walking on top of the Brooklyn Bridge and you are pretending that you're going to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, well, then the policeman will take you to this hospital. If you are walking in the midst of Times Square and you have less clothes on than that cowboy that lurks around Times Square, the policeman will bring you to this hospital. If your husband had given you $500 to spend while you're here in New York City, but yet, when you return home, he discovered that you actually spent $5,000 on his credit card. He's going to bring you to this hospital called Bellevue, because 49% of the hospital are people who has all kinds of anxieties or disorders. Now, they break your leg, break your arm, or any part of your body, they will mend you up, they'll stitch you up, but never tell anyone, I mean absolutely zero, never tell anyone that you just came from Bellevue Hospital. Tell them you came from Mount Sinai. Well, you was in Mount Sinai, how was the food? Tell them you came from Columbia Presbyterian. Oh, you was in Columbia Presbyterian? How long were you there? Don't tell them you came from Bellevue. You tell them you came from Bellevue, you know what they're going to do? They're going to call the police on you. They're going to call the cops on you. Or they'll say, get away from me. Get away from me. Don't bother me. Never tell anybody you came from Bellevue Hospital. But it'd be nice if there's a treatment for people who have those kind of disorders one day, wouldn't it? You would suffer from that. But nonetheless, this is another hospital, NYU Medical Center. It is an intern hospital. I don't want to say the word practice, but it's a training hospital. So you may have a 31-year-old doctor that want to operate on your heart or your liver. He's 31 years old. How many years do you have experience? Well, you ready to have an older doctor, really? But now here's the problem. Let's give these young doctors a chance. How else do they learn, you know? Give them a chance. So, you know, let them be 31, 29, you know, it doesn't matter. So just give them opportunity. But you say, not on my heart. Depending on how much we take things seriously, right? Now the buildings are getting taller and taller and higher and higher. What comes to your mind? Buildings are getting taller and taller and higher and higher. Now look on the left, the Empire State Building. Now I don't know about your tour guide, earlier tour guide, but the Empire State Building was built in 410 days. That's a year and 45 days, made out of Indiana limestone. And by the way, that building in front of Empire State Building was a high school. A high school. But that's not the reason why we call high schools, because of tall buildings. Some high schools only have 6 or 8 floors. So here's our start. Then we have a police activity called the Operation Hercules.
34th Street. 34th.
Now the building on our left is called the Corinthian. Built in 1988. When it was built, it was the tallest apartment building in New York City. Some tour guys relate that that was the home of Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stone, Donna Ross of the Supreme, and Rod Stewart of Rod Stewart. Now on the right side,